about like financial transparency, so, I saw figures about the food budget, I don't know if we talked about this the last meeting, where it was budgeted like 250,000, but it came in as $2 million, set of bills from, is it Chartwell's? I can't remember what the name is, whoever's doing the food service,
Yeah.
what is it?
I'd be happy to have that conversation with you, because that's not what it is, but we're here for the November election.
No, I understand.
But I'd be happy to have a conversation with you at some point about, how the food service program works and how the billing works with our
It
food
was a
service
general,
management.
yeah, and it wasn't specific about that, it's general about like, how can we see how the money's being spent, how can we,
Yeah.
see line items and get questions answered as opposed to just about that. That was what I meant. So when these things get done, do the taxpayers see how it was spent, what it was spent on, or is it, is that information gonna be easily accessible, or is that pretty difficult to get?
Well, of course, that information is available through, Freedom of Information Act.
Okay.
Right? That is, as a community member, right, that's your tool to get, information. That's a lot.
Right.
And isn't our school board treasurer working on trying to get some more of this available online, Chapter?
No.
Oh, well, he's,
No.
no,
So-
he's hoping to be able to make it, easy, especially for things like this, your school board treasurer is really, you can talk to him too, we'll help you find everything, he really wants to make it
Yeah.
transparent.
So our bond funds are audited every year, it's a part of our financial audit, and our financial audit is out on our website as well. If you go under the budget transparency section, you'll be able to see that.
And you do have a stellar rate on top of all this, right? What's your rating?
For-
District rating, whatever, the guys that tell you if you're good with money or not.
So on the audit side, we have what's called an unmodified opinion, so that's the
Okay.
highest rating you can get. It sounds weird, but it's really, if you think of it like this, right? They start with, everybody has the highest opinion, right? They start reviewing your financials and they have the highest opinion. And if they don't have to do anything, because everything that they've tested, all your transactions that they've looked at it, everything was in line, then that opinion is unmodified. It's when they start modifying it because they found something wrong, that's when you can start to get ready. So ours is unmodified, related to our financial statements.
The double.
So our bond rating, so then there's bond rating, yeah. So there are rating services that look at all of our bonds, so when we go to issue a bond, we go through a process with them. They look at our financial health, they look at the financial health of the community overall, and then they rate the bonds so that when those bonds go out to market, those organizations that are interested in buying them, they say, do I want to take a chance on these bonds that Forest Hills Public Schools is selling, for example? Will their taxpayers be able to make those payments to me, essentially, right? And so we have the second highest rating that you can have. It's called a AA2. We won't be able to get any higher than that, and that's because we participate in a state retirement system, and it's a pension system, and so because of that and a large pension liability, school districts would never be able to get above that AA2. So, Stephanie?
You mentioned that the way we can get transparency financially is to FOIA for the information. Is that free then to the stakeholders?
It just depends, right? Our FOIA information online on how that process works, and if there are any charges, I believe that's spelled out on the FOIA page of our website as well. So it really just depends on what the request is, right, and how labor intensive it is to gather that information. If it's a quick, easy report, then we're just gonna run the report and hand it off. If it's something that's gonna take a half a day and multiple people to try to put together, then we would probably put a price tag to that, and
But
and that
so,
would be part of it.
like, if I would pull my financials from QuickBooks for our business for last year, that would literally take me 30 seconds to print that report.
Sure.
So you wouldn't charge for the checkbook register for last year, let's say?
No, if you wanted to see a transaction report for, our 2021 capital projects fund, which is where we track our, construction projects, I'd run a transaction report and
Okay.
PDF it.
good to know, thank you.
But then if you ask and say, hey, I want all of this stuff pulled, right, I wanna see the detail behind it, and it takes time, to do that, then that's when we look at the potential, where there could be a cost to it, but I don't know, it just depends.
But
on the
rather
person.
than charging individual people for that information, if you just did it one time a year and put it out there for the stakeholders, wouldn't that just be a good thing for financial transparency, for trust within the community? If you've got such an awesome rating, why should anyone question anything? Just put it out there.
Oh, that's the same question, why should anyone question anything? But you're welcome to request it, I mean, that is the vehicle for our communities if they wanna see that level of detail.
Because what you don't know can hurt you. And in a situation like this, when you're asking for $340 million, people wanna know, what is my money going toward? That's just transparency.
Sure, and we shared tonight what that $340 million is proposed to be.
Yes, a vague representation, thank you for that,
Yep.
yes.
All right, thank you again, I appreciate your time this evening, and again, if you've got questions,